What is going on, everyone? James Livingston here, back at it, giving you guys a breakdown of the market as far as how I saw it here today. Obviously going over a lot of our favorite ones, SPY, QQQ. I'm going to go over IWM as well, just giving you a general feel about how the market reacted here on CPI day, as well as I believe PPI tomorrow, or I might have that reverse. I think PPI was today, CPI tomorrow. But essentially, looking over at SPY, just looking at the overall chart here, obviously I have a couple markings here from our private Discord's class. I'll go ahead and get rid of some of those and just kind of briefly touch on what we went over. But you can get all the up-to-date and earliest info by joining that Discord down below, Alpha Stocks Lab. We got the best team, I should say, out there. Super intuitive in there. We all talk all the time, constantly teaching. So very, very good place to be. But essentially something we outlined here over the weekend on Sunday night that we could be looking at potentially is this little gap that we had. So we had this gap here from about 530, was it 536-ish, all the way up to about 542 from that push down August 1st into August 2nd. Now, price action, when we were identifying that, we were down right around here. But it just looked as though we were going to start pushing up to the upside. So we identified that there was potential for upside there with the gap, but also not ignoring the fact that we are in an overall downtrend, or were in an overall downtrend. As of today, with the PPI data, market reacted very good to it. It was a very bullish candle, just straight up all day, no pullbacks really at all. Just about filled that gap up. Now, the one thing I will say is whenever we have these gap fills, generally what I end up seeing is once the gap gets filled, price action tends to reverse. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to pull all the way back down, but we could potentially see a pullback once we hit the top of that range there at the 542, 543 area. So something worth noting there, something I'm definitely going to be watching for. Putting a line out, a level out at 543 just about, and keeping a close eye on that one. As far as downside, obviously in order for us to get back down, I think we're going to need to break underneath of some levels here. I think namely, if we go on the 30-minute time frame and kind of zoom in on this, again, in the middle of this uptrend right now, filling the gap, I would say at the moment we're really looking for a breakdown below, looks like just about that 540 level. So psychological 540, it makes sense that if we break below that, we can possibly see those upper 530s. Mainly that like 538, 537.50, 538 level, right down below here. So that would be my analysis for SPY moving forward into tomorrow, Wednesday, with CPI data. Obviously, we'll see how it reacts, but I would almost anticipate that if we get the push up in the morning towards 543, just be very careful around that level that we could potentially see some pullback. But we do have a whole bunch of room back up into those upper 40s, 540s if we really want it. QQQ should look very similar to SPY in terms of the overall push. Very similar charts. You can see QQQ already has pushed through that gap there. I would anticipate that this is likely to continue. I think we could even possibly see a gap up overnight. But we do have that gap that we just got filled up. I'm thinking that we're going to start pushing into a lot of this open liquidity from that push down August 1st into August 2nd. Got a lot of open liquidity, open volume to take over. Most likely for QQQ, I could see us getting, as high as, we got to what, 63, 463. We could potentially see as high as the $470 level here in the next couple of days, depending on how CPI data comes out. But like I said, watching it generally, this 463 was my resistance level that I was personally watching for here today in today's price action for us to hit. 463 did get touched. Now at this point, I am a little leery going long, although it does look very strong for continuation. I think that a small pullback could be warranted, mainly down towards that $460 flat level. Was a psychological level in the middle of today before it broke out into those lower 460s, but 460 was the catalyst to break down or break up through. So that would be my analysis there. 463 for the upside, 460 psychological level for the downside. Those would be my two levels to watch out for here on QQQ. But overall, looking very strong. Just like SPY, pushing up strongly. It looks like both of them are essentially targeting this swing high here on both of their charts. You can see SPY has a very similar swing high up there in the 450s, or sorry, 550s. So will it get there, this week or tomorrow? Who knows? Probably not, but nothing's impossible. We've seen the market absolutely plummet, 40 basis or 40 points in one day. So anything's possible there. Lastly, we're going to get over IWM. Again, I'm going to just delete some of this stuff here so we don't have to worry about it. You can see here we had this indecisive candle a couple weeks back. We identified this in the Discord. We thought maybe it would push up into this gap here just because of the kind of indecision almost after the push down. We thought maybe a bounce, but the overall market carried it down and we did push down even further. Now we did fill a gap that was about right here. We just about filled that gap. Looks like price action is targeting that daily 20 EMA right there. Get rid of this. Get rid of this. But it looks like it's targeting that 20 EMA right there. We also could potentially see just to the top side of that 211 level before we get the slight rejection. Now, if this is a lagging indicator from SPY and QQQ, there is very well a potential that this could lag behind them and go for that gap fill itself, since the other ones also did. But only time will tell here. I do kind of think that this is lagging behind. I think we would get this gap fill sooner rather than later. But obviously we have some levels we need to break above first and foremost. So on the 30-minute time frame, just kind of looking at this from a technical standpoint, obviously we need to break highs to continue higher. 208.38, if you want to be safe, would be the level to break, but I would say more so than anything, $208 is what we need to break and hold above in order to see some more upside there. Once we break that, 208.50 is a very big level that's happened to hold a bunch of times before. So I would say that 208.50 in general is going to be the catalyst breakout to get us to 211 or higher. As far as for downside, I wouldn't really target downside on this, honestly, until we break underneath of that 200 EMA right there. So in this case, that's looking like 206.80, 206.70 in that little range there. I wouldn't really look downside until we start to break below that area. So yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. That's really just going over the market there. SPY, QQQ, IWM, the Russell 2000 for the small caps. I just want to kind of go over that. I want to make this more of a often thing where I go over the market maybe once or twice or 3 times a week, who knows, and just let you guys know my thoughts. So hopefully you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave it a like, comment down below, let me know what you guys thought. Really appreciate it. And of course, if you're new to the channel, please hit that subscribe button. Cheers, guys. Have a good rest of your night.